Doing my ranking video today, my top 15 running back video, which I should have available tomorrow. And I recorded a big part of it. And I had him, Bucky Irving, number 5. Tied for number 4 or 5, like in that territory. And I interrupt my own video. And I re-record a piece, and I'm going to insert it in. I haven't put it in yet, but I'm going to insert it in after and interrupt myself and make myself take a lap. Because this channel wasn't created so we can play safe football. Play it safe, cookie cutter, copy paste, not be bold, hold back on the things that we bring, the thunder we bring to the table. We're not here to tiptoe around everything. Just tippy-toe around everything. Oh, everybody says Barkley has to be number 3 or 2, or you're crazy to have Bucky over Henry and Barkley, Smitty. But I literally am making myself take a lap, because why am I holding back? Why am I holding back at all? This man could be RB1. He could be RB1. This quote coming from head coach Todd Bowles months ago, by the way. He has a skill you can't teach. Talking about Bucky. He can make people miss in the hole. He's aggressive. He's tough. And recently, just as of days ago, talked about how he didn't come into the season as a starter, which we know that. He didn't get unleashed until week 13. But then he said his footwork was a problem. I didn't notice. but the greater part about the quote was that he cleaned up his footwork. His footwork looks amazing. He's running more precise. He's got purpose. He's not making extra moves and steps and wasting energy. He's cleaned up his game. That's scary. If Bucky cleaned up his game, what's in store for Bucky 2025? I'll tell you, top 3 running back numbers is in store for Bucky Irving, top 25. Let's go.
Get Buckied. 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 Oh, Bucky.
What's going on with my intro? Really?
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
This board is one of the most beautiful collection of numbers and statistics and flux capacitors and algorithmic equations and such. This guy was, let me preface all of this by saying he was the 41st running back in running back snap percentage of his team. He was the 41st ranked running back. That means he was barely used until the end of the year. Barely used until the end of the season. And to show you exactly what I'm talking about, this is his game log. So in week 1, he did very little. He did great, 6.8 a carry, 7 carries, 9 carries, 10 carries. Look what happens when you give him 10 carries. Touchdown, 4.9 a pop. 9 carries, 14 carries. Look what happens when you give him 14 carries, 81 and a touch, 5.79 a pop. 9 carries, 7 carries. Okay, 13. Right before the bye week, this is double-digit weeks, 13 carries, 5.62 a pop, 73 yards and a touchdown. Now we're cooking. Bye week, 12 carries. Why are we not giving him more work here? 88, 7.3 a pop, a touchdown. Boom, 25 carries, 152 and a touch. Injury, but he did come back the next game. 15 carries, 117, 16 carries, 68 and a touch. 20 carries, 113, 19 carries, 89 and a touch. Usage in the playoffs when it counts the most. The amount of trust that you got to have in a running back when you give the ball. This guy is remarkable when you take all of that into consideration. Yards after contact per attempt, the man was number 1 in the National Football League. In probably one of the most interesting points I could even discuss would be this right here. He cleaned up his footwork. He cleaned up his footwork, and the man was number 1 in the league in yards after contact per attempt. What in the hell does that mean? You're telling me Bucky's going to get better? I don't know if I believe you. He's already so amazing. How could he get better? He's number 1 in yards after contact per attempt. If he gets better, he's going to be maybe the running back number 1. This is insane. These numbers are so crazy when you take into consideration he didn't get starter touches till week 13. Forced missed tackles, number 4. Yards per carry, 4th. Now, some of these stats, look, you got number 41 rank snap percentage, and you're talking about per attempt. Okay. You want numbers that are rock solid numbers that a player that doesn't start until week 13 shouldn't have? How about 12th in fantasy points? How about yards per route run, number 6? How about red zone targets, 10th in the league? How about rushing yards, 10th in the league? Didn't start till week 13. How about 20-plus yard runs, number 8? How about 30-plus yard runs, number 3? How about 7th and 40, 6th and 50? This guy, it seems like this is taking candy from a baby. There aren't as many doubters around our Bucky Irving prediction and hopes and aspirations as there was Chan last year and the year prior. There's not as much pushback on this one as our Kyren prediction, our Kyren rise. I would say JD5, while people will have foggy memories about how much pushback there was on JD5, I would say this is still less pushback than the JD5 situation. We've called a lot, but there's still enough doubters out there that this guy's sitting in the middle of the second round, sometimes late second round, and that's just laughable to me. This is a elite running back. This is a guy that could be the number 1 overall fantasy football running back. And I don't want to hear he's too small. I don't want to hear the system isn't built for this. I don't want to hear that Liam Cohen's gone. Todd Bowles has got it under control enough that when he speaks about Bucky too, you know that Bucky is going to get fed. And what he ended up saying, Todd Bowles, about Bucky last year as he was coming into his own, or this is really after the season, so months ago, he said that he's getting more comfortable with the offense. He wasn't entirely comfortable until about week 13, it sounds like, where Todd Bowles is like, you go, boy. Here is your volume. You're now a 20-carry running back, an 18-carry running back, a 17-carry running back. Game after game, you're getting that kind of volume. It sounds like he wasn't comfortable enough with the entire scheme and offense and protections and all that until week 13. And what Todd Bowles said was, once he becomes fully comfortable, you can give him more and more and more work. And when Todd Bowles says something, it's pretty accurate. You could go back in history and look at coach, speak, and basically find some coaches that talk out their rear end. And as much as I'm all over RJ Harvey in that situation, Sean Payton is an example of a coach that can talk out his rear end and say one thing and do another and lie to the media's face. Todd Bowles is a pretty straight shooter. And when Todd Bowles tells you last year, when the year's winding down, that when he gets more comfortable, he's getting the ball more, and that's what you see happening. That's why he's getting the ball more. This is not a timeshare. This is not a timeshare. And for those that think Rachaad White is a problem on any level, Rachaad White hit the social media a few weeks ago, or it might even be a month ago at this point, and said that this is his last year in Tampa. That is not a good look for a running back that hasn't even gone into camp at that point. He's saying, I'm not returning to Tampa Bay after this year. This is my last year. That sounds like a ruffled feathers reaction. It sounds like Rachaad White got some news he didn't like. It sounds like Rachaad White was put in his place in terms of the pecking order of this thing. And when I say that, I don't mean that he's out of the starting running back role. I mean he might not any longer be the RB2. And I know a lot of people want to say that that's not true because they own Rachaad White, but I don't care if you own Rachaad White. I'm here to tell you the truth. And the truth is that Sean Tucker is the backup to Bucky Irving. And even if Rachaad White's on the field more than Sean Tucker, while Bucky's the starter. If, God forbid, Bucky missed a game, which I don't think he will, but if he did, let's say get abducted safely by aliens for 1 week and was returned safely, had some good stories, not injured, ready to go the next week, Sean Tucker's the one that likely gets the call. And even if he doesn't get the call, Sean Tucker and Rachaad White will both share work. But what you got to understand is Rachaad White's got a cemented inside role. He's got a little side hustle there in Tampa. He's not the starting running back. If this guy goes down, who goes in? A between the tackles runner like Bucky, a brute force workhorse potential running back like Sean Tucker. It's not going to be Rachaad White that transitions over. Rachaad White's role probably wouldn't change. He'd get a little more work, but it probably wouldn't change at all if Bucky was ever missed for a game. It would be Sean Tucker who lines up right beneath Bucky and takes over. A lot of people think it's the running back that's getting the second most volume in the offense. That's not how football works. Half the time, that's not how football works for the running back situation. Sean Tucker's the cuff. Now, am I wrong? Maybe. Could I be wrong if this injury happened, let's say, and knock on wood, that Bucky doesn't miss a single game. But maybe week 1, we could see Rachaad White get more work than we think. But as the season progresses and Rachaad White is telling you he's gone, he's out, he's not returning to Tampa, he obviously doesn't like the pecking order. His attitude isn't even right. We're talking about Sean Tucker going to the moon if he's ever injected into this offense, this Todd Bowles offense that leads on the run. We've already seen Sean Tucker run for $150, $170? It was 150 to 170 total yards. Let's find out what it is. Let's ask Kruger what that is. Hey, Kruger, what was Sean Tucker's big rushing yard total last year? He played one amazing game and amassed like 150, 170 total yards. Do you remember what that was?
Let me look up Sean Tucker's big game from last season for you. I'll grab those stats and let you know in just a second.
Jeez, man. That takes you that long? Where are you going? Where's he going to get this information? How far? Is this supposed to be right in reach? Kruger, come on, my guy. We're live on the air right here. What was Sean Tucker's big yardage total last year? He had one monster game.
So Sean Tucker's big game last season was in week 6. He rushed for 136 yards and also had 56 receiving yards, and he scored 2 touchdowns. That was
Woo! What was his total yards? Total yards, add those together. 2 touchdowns and what? 170.
Yardage was 192.
192. My math's off. 190 and 2 touchdowns. Tucker isn't the starter, Smitty. Sean Tucker can't do it. Why would they lean on Sean Tucker and not lean on Rachaad White? I own Rachaad White, Smitty. It's got to be Rachaad White.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a lap. Get buckied. Buckied.
Sean Tucker. Okay, so Sean Tucker's the cuff. We've already made this abundantly clear. You guys know we have the cuff board. Sean Tucker and Bucky need to be vaulted on this board quite a bit. I've got it. Let's see. Where is it currently at? I think that was the one we needed to move up quite a bit. So I have it right here. But to be honest with you, I feel like it's worthy of something in this ballpark here. I really do. And I hope we never have to use it, the safety net, but we're going to have to move this somewhere with a graphic. Sean Tucker, Bucky. And again, the cuff board is not about the starter. Otherwise, we'd have Bijan on here. You know what I mean? We'd have Gibbs on here. And Monty's not a cuff. Monty's a standalone player that costs way too much to be a cuff. So we're going to probably put Sean Tucker on here. Sean Tucker is, and I hate even talking about that, right? Who wants to have Sean Tucker talked about? Because that means Bucky would be abducted by aliens for a short period of time. But Yeah, so if I had to guess right here, right now, guys, what the potential projection for Bucky Irving would be, 2025 stats, I'd probably say something along the lines of, let's pull up his game log from last year. So Bucky Irving. Let's go ahead and say, and again, keep in mind that it's really hard to even go off of last year. 207. So we had 207 carries for 1, 1, 2, 2, 8 TDs, 5.4 a pop. I'm just writing down last year, and then we're going to tweak them and massage them right into place. Just get ready. Get ready to get excited. Get ready to be really, really excited. 392 and 0 TDs, which is a very interesting number. Because you would have thought he had like one touchdown at least. He had a long of 42 receiving. He had a long of 56 rushing. It's going to have a bigger number than that. Okay, so let's now recalibrate this with a starting volume and, anticipation that maybe there's some change here or there. I'm going to go ahead and readjust his carry total to a number that more aligns with, let's call it 265 carries. And let's give him 5.4 carry. I don't think cleaning up his footwork isn't going to hurt him. It's not going to hurt him. I'm going to say, so let's see here. We have 265 times 5.4 carry is 1431. So 265 yards are going to be 1431, and that's going to be 5.4 a pop. Does that track? I think I did the math right on that. Rushing touchdowns, 8 touchdowns on 13 on playing, not starting a game till week 13. Still played. I'm going to say he's going to run for 13 touchdowns on the ground. 13 TDs on the ground. Receiving numbers. Let's work this out. Let's call this 65 receptions for, let's give him the same, let's just stick with the same yards per catch to keep the numbers similar and not inflated too much. So 392 divided by, what do you have, 47? So that's 8.34. So 8.34 times, what do we get him? 65. That's going to be a receiving number of 542. So 542, and I'm going to give him 3 TDs receiving. 3 receiving TDs. That gives him 16 total touchdowns. And his long on the ground is going to be 72 yards. And his long receiving is going to be 64 yards. This right here might be running back 1, 2, or 3. This is a top 3 running back. We got gifted memberships from, who's dropping these? The Patrick coming in hot. Patrick, appreciate you dropping the gifted memberships, my boy.
Alert. Super chat alert.
$20 super chat. $20 super chat.
Patrick coming in strong. Appreciate you, Patrick. All right, let's go back to this screen. 265 carries, 1,400 yards, 5.4 pop, 13 TDs, 72 yard run is his long, 65 catches, 542, 3 TDs, and a long of 64. This is running back 1, 2, or 3. This is why I have a title that says he's number 3. That's why I recorded my top 15 running back ranking video already, and I'm making myself take a lap because I got complacent for a second. It was a mere second, okay? I'm bold. I pride myself on not throwing mud at the wall and trying to get something to stick. I pride myself on being bold but calculated. And the fact that I even hesitated for a second to put Bucky in my top 3 and I put him 5, it was a lapse in judgment. A very short lapse in judgment that's on me. And I'm taking a lap for that. In fact, you know what? I already recorded what I'm going to insert into the video. I'll just insert this. I'll clip this and insert it into the video. This is on me. This lap is on me. I should have got more bold in my own pre-recorded little segment. But instead, I got a little bit complacent. And I said, oh, I'll be a little safe and put him 5. I want people to like me. I don't want people to run. What about somebody who's never seen my show before? They don't know what we do and how we operate. If I don't put Saquon 5, they're going to think I'm crazy. Who cares? We're putting Bucky 3, and that's that.
Take a big lap. We don't need your hating ass coming back now. Take a big lap. Take one and you don't come back.
Get buckied. Buckied.
Plain and simple. Jonathan Coble with a $20 hauler, you straight up monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Coble, appreciate you dropping the super chat, you monster, you. Traded Pickens for Harvey and Dynasty. Love it. Love it. I love both players, but I love that. Was going to ask advice, but already knew Smitty's answer. Both are 24 and should have similar, both are 24 years old and should have similar Dynasty longevity, but one is in a head case. It won't be so easy to get Harvey next year. Agreed. 100% Smitty approved. And Coble, I approve your super chat and your trade at the same time.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Yeah, the thing about the drum set, bro, I've kicked around the idea of getting a drum set in here, and that whenever anybody super chats like $50 or higher, that I just grab the sticks and just freaking smash. But I mean, I got the moped instead, the electric moped instead, and you know, I don't want to be crammed in here. There is a specific drum set that I could put right here that is very small, and I could scoot over and smash this digital drum set here that's got speakers that blare in it. It's kind of a self-contained little kit, but I didn't know if that would be big enough to really even mess with. So I don't know. We'll see. I like to have room in my studio too, and the drum kit's nice, but we'll see. We'll keep it in mind, Maddie. It's still a good topic to kick around. Who agrees with these numbers? Who thinks they're ludicrous and he can't even come close to it? I want to know.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Who wants the drum set? I mean, do we need it? The only problem though is that we could potentially have people going like it's too loud, and then we have the whole boss horn thing all over again. But the drum set would be pretty nice. I just don't know if I want to take up this space. But that smaller kit would be okay. But would it be bold enough? We got the keyboard here too. I gotta smash that. Phone lines open. Dial into the show. Dial in. Appreciate my moderators being in here. You guys rock. Drum set says Aldi. He wants one. You missed the boss horn, Ziggy. A lot of people do. But I do have the boss horn, and we're going to do some things with it. Like on the electric moped, I'm going to put it in my backpack, and I've got a remote, and as we drive by people... it's gonna be a good time. There's ways to use the boss horn still, and I don't know that it's going to be that loud for the live stream on the phone. Well, you guys will have to tell me. I think it's just going to be like a muffled, like loud sound. But we'll blast the boss horn. I'll put it in the backpack, face it toward the back, put some AirPods in so I don't have any. We could also set it in places, and then press it, and people are gonna look and not know what's going on. So we'll have a lot of time for that. All right, let me hit these 2 phone callers here. We got a super chat as well. Oh, Coble, I already answered Coble super chat. Thank you, Coble. If anybody wants to drop a $100 hauler, the deal is we're getting into July now. Any $100 hauler, you get to be a sponsor of a video. Just let me know what video you want. We got some new ones. I don't think we have any HHH and Associate sponsors yet.
In a jam, call HHH.
Oh, we do.
Associates.
BBQ.
Triple H and Associates.
We got one there.
Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
We're trying to keep it to like 3 or 4 per video, but I'm always open-minded. But, you know, the Bijan card's been taken away. No one's ever...
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
Any of those are up for grabs. So, you know, $100 haulers, your name goes on the screen, and then you get to enjoy it all year when we press the button. Just like this one right here, Bucky. Every time we hit this Bucky button, look at these 4 gentlemen on screen.
Get buckied. Buckied.
They get to see their names all year long. All right, let's go over to the 952 caller. You're live. What can I do for you, 952? Then over to the other caller, 925. But hang tight. 952.
Smitty.
Yeah.
I love the Bucky pick. He kind of reminds me of like a Monra 2 years ago when he kind of like popped off at the end of the year.
You mean when we
like people are still like sleeping on him?
Mm-hmm.
But
He was one of our very first moon men. And we called that one, and I think I have it's called the yearbook. Let me see if I can find the scene. But we as one of our very, very first moon men, we called that Amon Ra St. Brown thing. Nobody was higher on Amon Ra than we were. Nobody. Because we got it on record, and I even got the yearbook here somewhere. Let me find it. But yeah, it does feel a little like that, but the only thing is he's going Bucky. Amon Ra was not going as high at all. Bucky's going around too, but it does feel have a similar vibe. I agree. Go ahead. What else can I do for you? Hey, who am I talking to? Where are you calling from? Who is this?
TJ.
All right, TJ. Go ahead.
So in Dynasty, I have Gibbs, right? And I feel like people value Gibbs more than Bucky right now.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to trade Gibbs away for Bucky, and I'm trying to win now, would like Gibbs and like for Bucky in a first, or
can you get like a Hunter, Travis Hunter, or a JSN, or an MHJ, or like something like that?
Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson, yeah. Garrett Wilson and Bucky over Gibbs all day.
Yeah. What about like Jaden Higgins?
Caller just hung up. If you want to call back, I'm no more than happy to go over right to you when you call back. I'm sorry you hung up. Who? Jaden Higgins.
No, Matthew Golden.
What? For what?
Matthew Golden and Bucky for Gibbs.
We went from Garrett Wilson to Matthew Golden. We went from Garrett Wilson to Jaden Higgins. What in the hell is going on here? What are we? This is for your own good.
Finish him. Call terminated.
What are we doing? How about Bucky and Garrett Wilson? Great idea, Smitty. He even suggested it. Great idea. But what if we swap out Garrett Wilson and Jaden Higgins? What if we swap out Garrett Wilson and Matthew Golden? Shouldn't even be a first round grade player. I'll tell you what, Garrett Wilson's offended.
Many wonder what motivates and drives Garrett Wilson.
I mean, Garrett Wilson to me is more like a third rounder. Steve, wouldn't you agree? I think he doesn't belong up there with the top 5, 6, 7 wide receivers, don't you think?
Please report to the moon. Space-time continuum reset.
He's already pissed off enough. You know what I mean? Okay, you're live, caller. What's your name and where are you calling from? You're live.
How's it going, Smitty? It's Crizzy. I'm calling from LA. I just had a couple questions for you.
Yes, sir, Crizzy. What can I do for you?
All right, so the first one is a big dynasty trade. I just got offered, so I have Neighbors and Achane, and I got offered Drake London and Gibbs. So what are your thoughts on that trade?
Wow. I mean, geez, Neighbors. Let me screenshot these numbers and rewrite them because I don't want to not have the projections that I have on here. And let me write it on the board and let's just work it out. Let's pencil this sucker out. Okay. Jeez, bro. I mean, you're talking about a tale of two even C's here. Okay. Achane and say it again.
So it's Achan and Neighbors
Neighbors.
for Gibbs and Drake London.
Gibbs and London. Jeez. I mean, the way you got to look at it here is Gibbs is the highest ranked player by far. He's like number 3 overall. Neighbors is, in my opinion, in Dynasty, like you could easily say 6 or 5 overall. Achan is top, in my opinion, 10 to 12 overall. That's just my opinion. London is about 15, 14 overall. So this is like a 16, you could say 16 point if we're, let's see. I'll probably say if this is, let's say this is 16 points here and this is 18 points here. Your lower number obviously is going to mean that the value is there for that group. But I don't know, man. This is dead even. Yeah. I don't think you could really go wrong here. The only thing that would make me kind of lean toward the Gibbs side is I think London has the potential to climb right below Neighbors. And he's only 23 years old. Ziggy, how old is Malik Neighbors? Ziggy, how old is Malik Neighbors?
.com. On January 12th, Malik celebrated his birthday.
28? Good God. I didn't know. This guy's an old man. Oh, my God. Malik Neighbors. I just want to get his birthday. I know how old he is, but Malik Neighbors is 21, turned 21. Oh, he turns 22 July 28. And Drake London is 23, turns 24 July 24th. They got birthdays coming up. So 22 and 24. There's only a 2-year difference between these two bad boys. Drake London is 23 turning 24. Neighbors is 21 turning 22. So so we'll put 24. They're going to be 24 and 22 when the season starts. As much as I love Achan, and I do. Gibbs is a whole nother level of value. What are you doing with your phone, bro? Are you in the wind or what's going on?
Oh, no, sorry. I'm in the car right now. That's my AC. Okay. I'll mute myself real quick.
Okay.
While you run.
Yeah, I'm going to lean toward Gibbs, but this is a great trade, bro. This is a fantastic trade. Is anybody taking this Neighbors side? Gibbs, London. Can we vote on this right here? Everybody vote and give your opinion. You can't go wrong here. You can't go wrong. This is one of those trades where it's like, why are you guys doing it? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? I'll kick you in the nuts. You kick me in the nuts, and we're even. I don't know what can we just bypass the kicking and just say let's leave it? I don't know. I really love getting Neighbors though, but I love getting Gibbs. This is where it's a tale of two evens, bro. We got Gibbs, London.
Yeah, my team.
Go get Gibbs.
Okay, you think go get him? Because I already have Bijan and then JJ and Travis Hunter. So, my receivers are pretty stacked. So, I could take that small, decrease in, going from Neighbors to London because I still have, Justin Jefferson, and then I'd have Bijan and Gibbs instead of Bijan and Achan. So, I feel like it's pretty, interchangeable. So, I just wanted to kind of hear your insight. I was kind of hesitant because I was same as you were saying, it's so close that it's why even make the trade, But if you think Gibbs is that much more dominant, then maybe I just accept it and run the Bijan Gibbs train.
I mean, here's my question. And as much as I love Devon Achan, bro, I love Devon Achan. But are we worried about Gibbs becoming a top or staying a top 2-3 running back? I don't think so. It doesn't matter what's going on in Detroit. Gibbs is locked in. We are a little bit tied to Miami Mike McDaniel. We're tied to Tua. We're tied to the Dolphins. The discrepancy in likely gap in fantasy dynasty value between Achan or the potential unraveling of something there that could ruin his value. The gap between Achan and Gibbs is a bigger gap than the difference between London and Neighbors, because London is untapped. We still don't know how high his ceiling is. We really don't. And London's got an amazing offense. Gibbs has a good offense. No matter what happens to Goff, they're still going to run the hell out of the ball. And Neighbors is in a crappy offense with a horrible quarterback situation. And Achan's one hit away from having no quarterback. I think you could get paralyzed on that other side a little easier. I think the Gibbs and London side, the offenses make this trade an easy trade.
Yeah, okay. All right. Does it sway you in any of the Neighbors and HN way that I also do have Jalen Wright to like insure him? Or,
no.
Okay.
A backup running back doesn't sway me into getting rid of a better situation, bro. No, absolutely not. Just think about it. Offense, Falcons, tear it up. Living in the red zone, touchdown glory. You know, Falcon, Detroit, they're going to score a lot. Doesn't matter if Goff unfolds a little bit. They lean on the run more. Gibbs is in an amazing situation. So is London. Both Neighbors and Achan. Achan's in a good situation right now, but they're more vulnerable in their situations. Easy call. Easy call, bro. You could be paralyzed on the Neighbors and Achan side a lot easier.
Yeah, that's fair. They definitely are, I feel like, in better offenses or in safer situations, especially with their QB play. So I can see that side for sure.
Always resort back to what offense is better when you're sitting there in a dead even, stalemate. All right, bro, appreciate you.
Okay. I just have one more question.
Yeah.
All right, so one of my friends got super hyped on the Darren Waller news, and he ended up dropping Jake Ferguson for Darren Waller. I already have Njoku and Kittle, but do you think I should pick up Jake Ferguson? Do you think he could have potentially a bounce back year with the Dak attack? Or what are your thoughts on that?
I think he's good enough to grab. Who are you dropping to get him? You said?
I have a lot of tough running backs, so I'd have to drop someone like probably Jarquez Hunter or Brashard Smith or Pat Bryant, but I'm not really looking to drop those guys.
Don't cut those guys.
For him.
No, don't cut Brashard Smith.
Maybe I drop my defense and just kind of wait and see how things come out, and then eventually just hone back to that.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Okay. All right, bro. Later.
I appreciate you, Smitty.
Appreciate you. Later, bro. I ain't no cyborg. That's a lot harder than anybody seen. It's Abyss, right? Aliens. I was thinking of the movie Abyss, but Aliens. Ow! All right. Hit me with it. Phone line's open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Get buckied. Buckied.
Buckied.
Oh, Bucky.
Yeah.
We'll be probably back tonight, by the way. Make sure, I'm not leaving yet. Make sure we have 174 of you in here. Phone lines are open. We're ready to answer and tackle questions. But I just want you to know we will be back tonight once we leave. Make sure you're subscribed to the Patreon, by the way. This is the link right here to the Patreon. The Patreon is a 365, 24/7 live chat group. I'm going to pin that link right now. Basically, the amazing YouTube live stream crew you see right here is over on the Patreon and it's just chatting 24/7 live. It's amazing. All right, phone caller, you are live from the 443. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Nick from Baltimore. I just wanted to let you know that I'm so happy to have Bucky Irving on my roster now.
Congratulations on having Bucky.
Yeah, I got Kyren and Cup done for Bucky.
Kyren and Cup for Bucky. As much as I love oh yeah, you were the one that called and you're like, hey, I don't want to trade Kyren and Cup for Bucky, and I made you take a lap, and then at the end of the conversation, you're like, okay, and then you changed your mind right when we were hanging up. You're like, I just think Kyren's gonna. look, Kyren's going to have a nice year, but this is a no-brainer. A no-brainer. This guy, especially in Dynasty, he's just getting going. Kyren's had boatloads of miles put on the treads. You know, it's not like he's a year away from breaking, but we could, in 1 or 2 years, not be able to trade Kyren away for anything. Just like you can't trade Henry or Barkley in Dynasty right now. You just can't. Barkley, as good as Barkley could be, as long as he stays healthy, which I question, but you still can't trade Barkley for anything. Kyren's a year maybe away from not being tradable. This is probably going to be the most sought-after player to go buy in Dynasty Fantasy Football after this season, bro. This is a great trade. You should be... Hold on a second. All right?
King 25, code 428. Dispatch Vito Popo. Popo has been dispatched. King 25 out.
Yeah, he's on the phone right now. He just robbed somebody. Yes, he took Bucky Irving. Yeah, for Kyren and Cup. Straight robbery. I'll keep him on the phone line as long as possible. Get over here. All right, go ahead, bro.
Hey, yeah, I'm back. So I was just, I'm glad to get this deal done. I'm glad you put me on to Bucky.
Yes,
I
sir.
really wasn't really onto him just because he was just such a breakout. I didn't know how he was going to go, and it just makes sense the way you broke it down with the later part of the season. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you just take a look at just what, especially the way Todd Bowles talks about him, right? Todd Bowles is such a straight shooter compared to other coaches, at least. I mean, he really is. And when he says that the more he gets comfortable, the more he's going to get work. And this is how it went down. Look at the green. I've got it up on screen if you're watching on a 10-second delay. It's all green lit, in the carry department, except for that injured game, which he came back from the next day or the next game. But it's all green lit, and it's nothing but production. It's fantastic, man. When he gets carries, he produces. And the fact that he was running back 7, 3, 1, 5, and 9, in that small territory. I'm pretty sure that if you extrapolate this data, you're getting a top 3 running back from week 13 on. But honestly, it could be number 1. He could easily be number 1. And the fact that Todd Bowles is pushing that he's going to get, way more work, that he improved his footwork. He was number 1 in the league in multiple categories, but number 1 in the league in yards after contact per attempt. Probably these two are the most important stats in fantasy. Yards per route run is also a very important stat. If I had to nail down 3 categories of data to be predictive for running back success, it's yards after contact, it's forced missed tackles, and it's yards per route run. He was number 6 in yards per route run. He was number 1 in yards after contact per attempt. He was number 4 in forced missed tackles. There's just nothing to debate here. The only thing you could say is, he might get hurt because he's built a little smaller. But that's your only argument, and that's a pretty lazy take. One that we can smell from a mile away that has regret. And I don't have him. And poor me. And so I'm going to hate him. And I'm going to wish for his downfall. Because it's the only way I'm going to feel good about myself. Because I can't acquire him in my only league I play in. That's what it smells like. So congratulations on getting maybe a top 3 running back. And I still like Kyren. We're still going to be big on Kyren all year long. Kyren starts off the year as the 3rd running back and Bucky's 4. Don't come screaming at me. You got a whole season to play out. But Kyren's going to ball. Bucky's going to ball. Love them both, bro.
Man, thank you so much. Do you want to hear this competing roster?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Ashton Genty. Not Kyren Williams anymore. I got Bucky. I got Marvin Harrison, Xavier Worthy, Calvin Ridley, Mooney, Mark Andrews, Rashid Shaheed, Matt Stafford, and I've got the Minnesota Vikings defense.
One QB, Grandma League?
Superflex, 3 RBs,
okay, so
4 wide receivers, and 1 flex.
Okay.
And this is a 16-man league.
Wow. Okay, so two things to work on. Great team, even in 16, especially in a 16-man league. 2 things to work on. Cam Ward as your QB2. going to be hard to do, but maybe you use first rounders in Stafford. The other thing, the other thing I'm going to tell you to work on, try and get likely on the cheap somehow. Don't try and give up first rounders for it, but just try and get likely tough to Andrews. That'll be nice for you. And, you're always poking around seeing if you can get rid of Derrick Henry. The only thing that would allow you to get rid of Derrick Henry would be you're trading for Harvey or Hampton or Hendy, and you're maybe giving up a little bit as well to try and get that done from somebody that's competing. You might have to wait until Henry's popping off this year with a contending team that was disappointed in Harvey's week 1 and 2 or something like that. So this might be a during the season buy low, sell high player that you're constantly trying to move. But those would be the things I'm working on. Try and get Cam Ward or Bo Nix in place of Stafford. I love Nix and Ward. Work on that. Those are the two guys I love for that super flex spot. All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
Later. Bruce, you're live, my boy.
Hey, Smitty. I wanted to thank you. You actually gave me some good pointers. I actually convinced the guy to let us have the Hunter points on defense.
Oh, yeah? Nice, bro.
Yeah, I convinced him. I said, look, and I kind of lied a little bit, and I was like, did you hear what the coach said? He said, no. I says, well, one game he might play all receiver, and the next game he might play all DB. So if you start him and he plays all DB, I says, you're not going to get any points out of him. He's going to be in your starting lineup. And he got so mad and so confused. He's like, all right, I'll just give him his defensive points. But only the touchdowns.
Here, you can show him this. Breaking news. I think he's a DB. I think Travis Hunter is a DB. I don't understand what's going on here. Yeah, good job. I've got a few leagues where the commissioner didn't do his due diligence at all in looking into this before the draft. It really should have. If you're running a draft, you should have had this decision made clearly beforehand. Part of me doesn't blame commissioners as much as maybe, it sounds like I am, just because the league management software, ESPN and Sleeper, they didn't make any announcements either until now. So it kind of sucks. I know everybody is waiting for designations, and when Travis Hunter signed as a wide receiver and a DB, it was fantastic. And then it gave, I think, ESPN and Sleeper and all these apps, gave them determination, gave them some clarity and determination to make an announcement about it. But it does kind of suck that came after the draft. I still would have drafted Hunter, though. It wouldn't have changed my mind at all. BBQ says lots of so-called experts talking about how Kyren needs volume and lacks explosive plays. And I'm not saying that BBQ saying this, but Kyren Williams lacks explosive plays. I shake my head when I hear people speak. Half the time when another human being speaks, I don't know. I can't help myself. I just can't help myself. Explosive plays. The guy was a 5-yard per carry running back the year prior. The only reason he looks as though he doesn't have explosive plays, again, I'm not yelling at BBQ. I'm yelling at the people that speak to BBQ or talk to BBQ and even send this information in his direction. He was facing 8-man front and after 8-man front and stacked boxes because he had injuries up and down that roster. They had all the wide receivers down. And they were just stacking the box, and they were still figuring out how to run, even though it was lower yards per carry. These people that think Kyren Williams isn't explosive, unbelievable. The guy's got a lightning bolt on his nose. He's got a lightning bolt on the bridge of his nose. I mean,
if I can add to that might be a good thing for us later, because they're just going to keep them drop further.
Well, of course, that's definitely an obvious advantage when people doubt a guy. His ADP falls. Of course, we love that. We encourage it. That's why we do this right here. So people can take this clip. Breaking news: according to our data, Kyren's not explosive. He's not. Don't draft him. So clip that, use that however you need. Let me keep reading what BBQ said. Kyren needs volume and lacks explosive plays, but the line That line was trash after getting hurt early. Do you see the contract as a tell on how they value him? Yes, I do. The thing about the contract, though, is if it doesn't get done, he's playing for money. He's almost even more dangerous from a fantasy perspective because he can't afford not to smash this year, because then he'll get a bag from somebody. But this team's about to show how much they love him. And the contract's probably going to be, I would imagine, in the $35 to $39 million territory. Hey, Kruger, how much is the expected contract going to be for Kyren Williams, the new contract he's expected to sign sometime in the next couple months? What's that deal going to look like years-wise, total amount, and upfront money, and per season? We'll see if he's back on his game.
Looks like Kyren Williams is aiming for a 3-year extension worth around $31 million, which put him at about $10.4 million a year. We'll see if that actually gets finalized in the next couple of months. But that's what the reports are suggesting right now.
And I've heard different things like 35 to 39, 31 to 35. They're kind of all over the map. But once he gets that extension, that'll be very telling as to, there's no question of a pecking order situation, or if he gets, the most important part about a contract and commitment, especially for a player like Kyren who had late draft capital, is that if you have a contract, if you're getting paid big money, when you get injured, your job's waiting for you. If Kyren were to get injured before his contract extension, there's a chance that if a player is playing better, then they can kind of say, you know, there's not a payment obligation here that makes us kind of say, let's go with him once he's back. That's the only thing. But Kyren is, the word is, there's been 2 or 3 times we've been updated that in terms of news that says that they're very close on a deal. And the one thing I can tell you for an RB who's starving for money, okay, this guy's still playing on low money, and he hasn't had that commitment yet. He is going to fold to get that money. He's not going to walk into the season playing hardball when he's never had the money before. It's different if you're getting your second big deal and you know your worth and all that. He literally knows that there's probably some disrespect out there if he was to head out and try and get new money next year. He also knows he could get injured. He also knows that he's getting older. He also knows that the mileage is adding up. There's a lot of reasons why he will fold at the end of it all. He's trying to, his agent's probably saying, let it go. We got this. We're going to take care of it, get you paid. But at some point he will fold and take whatever they give him, because otherwise he's making nothing. And for a running back, he's willing to take 10 million instead of 12. Thank you, BBQ. Appreciate you. But yes, very telling. And once he gets his contract too, Kyren's value goes up big time. Kyren's ADP is going to go up. His ADP will climb because people will say, hey, 2 things go on. People will say, hey, I guess they do believe in him. And if he gets banged up, his job will be waiting for him. And number 2, it will get people talking about him. Just the mere conversation about Kyren. Hey, Kyren just signed a deal. Let's talk about him now. And people haven't really heard much about him this year in the offseason. So now they're just kind of open-minded to hearing it. And they're like, yeah, I like Kyren. He could have 10, 15 touchdowns this year. And then it's like, oh, I think I'll draft Kyren. And it just has a trigger effect of increasing ADP. Himothy, appreciate you. Who's better keeper in 10-man PPR league, JD5 round 7 or Bucky round 13? If it's a 1 QB, very easily Bucky, because you can draft JD5 back and still get him in 3, 4, 5. If it's super flex, you have to take JD5 because he's a top 1 or 2 overall player. So 1 QB, Bucky by a country mile. And in Superflex, JD5 by a country mile. So that answers, your league format answers that question. Bruce, hang tight real quickly. Actually, I had the other caller hang up. Bruce, what else you got, bro? What do you hear? What do you say?
Which, as the tight end trades, which one works better? Because they said when Darren Waller was really good, he had this offensive coordinator. And now they say Jonah was horrible.
No. Darren Waller, yeah. Okay, so go ahead. Keep going. Sorry. I didn't mean to
And
interrupt.
then Jonah, he went back to Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
They said he was.
Jonah wasn't good with Arthur Smith. Like, that's
No.
that's the part that's crazy.
But Darren Waller was good with this guy,
Yeah.
supposedly.
But when's the last time Darren Waller was good? During the pandemic. I didn't even have my studio yet. I was building this studio. I was in the kitchen awaiting the build of the studio. And I was in my makeshift studio when Waller was doing well. That's a long time. 2020 was his last big year. It was 2020, not 2021, right? I'm pretty sure it was 2020. Darren Waller career stats. I'm almost positive it's 2020. 2021, he had 2 TDs, 600 yards. 2022, he had 3 TDs, 300 yards. 2023, he had 500 yards and 1 TD. Yeah, it was 2020 when he had his 1196 and 9 TDs, and he was an older player. This is just like how people are expecting a guy that is setting aside such a successful rap career to come in with cobwebs all over him because he sat out a year and wasn't good for years before that. He's supposed to come in and not get hurt. I mean, I'm not saying that he can't potentially do well for a string of games, but the idea that he stays healthy is slim to none to me. Not to mention, he'll probably be on a pitch count. I don't think a guy that is his age, doesn't matter if Kelsey's still doing it, the age drop-off is still significantly high risk to anybody else but the couple outliers that play the position and do it longer. Ziggy, how old is Darren Waller?
Darren Waller is 32 years old and was born September 13,
So
1992.
I think right after week 1 kicks off, he will turn 33 years old. There's just, I don't care if Kelsey's 35 or whatever. This is a total, like, even if you look at Kelsey being top 5 last year, top 5, 6, he still dropped off a lot. So if Waller's going to drop off at 33 years of age, which is extremely likely that he would, and I don't care if he doesn't have mileage the last whatever handful of years, your body is, if you park a vehicle in the garage for 5 years, does it just run and purr like a kitten when you bring it out? No, you got other issues. It's sitting there stale. You don't wear your Jordans for 5 or 6 years and they sit in a box. They'll crumble when you pick them up. There's wear and tear that happens with that thing. Like, you just can't. I want nothing to do with Darren Waller. There's so many tight ends to go get. Why are we messing around with Darren Waller? Let somebody else do that. You know, hell no, Waller. BBQ says, anybody with questions about the Dolphins tanking? Anybody with questions? I don't think they're tanking. The one thing I would say with that, in regards to that theory, is that Mike McDaniel gets fired if they don't do well. He gets fired. Now, maybe they're tanking around. They're making moves. Like, maybe we find out that Mike McDaniel's like, I don't want to trade Joe Nooner. Like, we're tanking. We're doing it. And he's like, come on. Like, maybe there's some sort of, like, upper level decision making going on. But I don't really think so, because they made a player swap they probably believe in. They want to get rid of somebody they don't want in their locker room anymore. They traded for Waller. They would have left that alone if they didn't want to do anything, you know, with the position. I think they're truly trying. I think they would have traded Tyreek away for something if they were tanking, because then you really get a higher draft pick. So the answer will be this. If Tyreek Hill gets traded before week 1, which is highly unlikely, pretty much almost impossible, they would be tanking. To keep Tyreek Hill means they're not tanking. To trade for Darren Waller to replace a vacant tight end position, not tanking. It might look like it though, BBQ. I definitely think that there's a little bit of a similar look to it. This is an organization that doesn't know what they're doing, but they would have traded Tyreek Hill if they were taking 100%. That'd be the first step to losing games. Now, again, when I talk about Achane versus Bucky, you know, or you know, Bucky or Achan versus Gibbs, when we start having those conversations, even though Achan's capable of being the running back one this year, Bucky's capable of being the running back one this year. These are show guys. These are show guys that we've been cooking on, and people that follow this channel own these players because we talk about them all year long.
Let him cook.
But the thing we talk about with Achan is that his offense is vulnerable. Bucky's is not. Gibbs is not. Achan does live in a vulnerable world, is the only real downside as to why we're ranking Bucky over him in Dynasty and redraft probably. Although if you can get both in some weird world, you can do that by drafting Achan ahead of him because the ADP is higher. But in a one-for-one perspective, in a vacuum, if you're the week one kickoff show is about to happen and the draft was in the rearview mirror and somebody comes to you and says, hey, I'll give you Achan for your Bucky, we're going to say no to that trade. We're going to keep Bucky, even though the ADP is different when you're drafting and all that. All right, anything else? Anything else there, Brucey? Appreciate you.
No, I was just seeing if you would have rather had Waller or Jonah, and you said neither one.
I'd rather have Jonah to answer the question. Absolutely. Okay. I'm sorry, I kind of cut you off and just started ripping on Waller. I'd rather have Jonah by a lot, but I'd rather not have either one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I was kind of like curious on like they said, oh, he did all his big years with this offensive coordinator. So I was like, oh man,
I had a tail when I was swimming around.
Yeah, we had tails.
Yeah, I mean, we all had tails. Does that mean that I can go swim now like I could when I was, you know, a tadpole? It doesn't matter what he did with whatever. It doesn't matter. No one's growing tails here. Everybody, he's 33 years old. He's a better rapper than he is a football player at this stage in his career, bro. He's a much better rapper than he is a football player. Let's be real. All right, appreciate you.
Yep.
Later, bro. All right, 2 more phone calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
You know, the other thing, Waller was such a frustrating player. I mean, Travis is right on the money here. Nice to have Travis back, by the way.
Let's go, mashed potatoes!
Very, very good point. And I'd say this, that the other thing we got to think about is Waller, like he was just talking about why he walked away from the game. And the last time he was talking about it, and it wasn't that long ago, he was like, yeah, I just didn't love it anymore. And it's like, he's recently kind of addressed that. At least I believe the interviews were not too long ago. And now all of a sudden he wants back. Who believes him? I mean, whatever drove him away last time, you think he's not going to get tired of the grind or whatever made him walk away last time? How many times has anybody out there left a place of employment, gone back, and then you realize, okay, this is why I left, and you leave again instead of like staying and it becomes great again? You know what I mean? I mean, well, does anybody believe this is the biggest obstacle is Waller wanting to play football? The players that play with him told, you know, everybody when they were asked, like, what do you think of this? And they're like, the biggest thing about Waller, and I played with him, is he didn't want to play anymore. He wasn't in it anymore. So we gotta like believe in him to play. Look at Johnny dropping a $100 hauler. Says, put me in with BBQ HHH mother freaking H and Associates. Johnny wants on the HHH and Associates board. You got it, pal.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Anybody dropping a $100 hauler, you can choose whichever video you want to so-called sponsor and have your name sitting there every time we play the video. So if this video makes you happy and you want to see glory, you want to see your name on here, your glorious name on here every time this video plays, like BBQ and Johnny, all you got to do is drop a $100 hauler and tell me what video you want to be on. Let's run this back for a good measure so Johnny can see it in real time. Johnny, thank you for your $100 hauler, young man, and let me punch the video, your video, you and BBQ. Bunk beds. You guys got bunk beds. Sharing bunk beds on the video. Do it live. Triple H and Associates with the associate in training, the damn it, Travis, what are we calling them? Junior Associates, right? Junior Associate?
Junior Associate.
Yeah, Junior.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Can I be an associate? My name's Hampton. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We're going to creep him up a little bit. Every time we feel like he's a little bit more ready to rumble, we'll raise him up. And then eventually we'll have Junior Associate sitting there. And he'll actually have like a title. Thank you, Johnny, for dropping that $100 wad on screen.
Smitty, everybody's pretty. $100+ I don't even know why they're getting ditty why. $100+ oh yeah.
BBQ, thank you for the additional super chat, young man. BBQ says we need a third member. Johnny BBQ, your name here. Oh, you mean put like that might be a good idea. Your name here. Who wants someone? HHH and Associates. We have a lot of other ones. I can't believe no one's ever.
Your Bijan card has been revoked.
I can't believe no one's ever wanted that one. I don't think people realize that's one they can claim. Maybe any animation, any transition, anybody who wants to be on anything, just let me know. Travis, you are live. Thank you.
Hey, what's up? So with Waller, like I'm seeing about 60 or 70% of people say he's washed, no good, whatever. Then there's like probably close to 20 or 25% of people you can tell almost don't want to say it, but they're like drawn to it just because of the name, I think. Obviously you wouldn't be dropping anything special, but if you had, a spot to pick him up, would you pick him up just on the speculation somebody might be willing to give up something?
Like the guy that called.
Yeah, I've seen 2 or 3 people now like that, where they say like people got all excited about it.
I don't think anybody's trading for him.
Sounds crazy to me. Yeah.
I don't think anybody. I think you pick him up and everyone's gonna be like, "No, thanks, man." You also have a little bit of embarrassment factor that's gonna shame people away from being the one that traded for Darren Waller. You know what I mean? Like picking him up's one thing, but to be trading for him, I think people are gonna back off that. But I don't know. I guess it depends on your league. If someone said, "Hey, damn it, man, I wanted him," but I mean, he's already picked up in leagues where people are willing to trade for him. He's already been picked up. So I don't even know if you have him right now. Could you kick the tires on a trade? Well, yeah, I guess, because you already have him. But he would have been picked up, unless your waivers have been closed or something like that. I would just say if you're wasting any waiver dollars on Darren Waller instead of keeping all your waiver dollars for a potential full load drop, where you could get the next Bucky Irving or something, we've got potential full load droppage right here.
Initiate full load drop.
A full load drop might be required at some point. You're gonna even if it was $2 and now you don't have a potential full load drop. You got Darren Waller to thank for that. No, thank you. I want nothing to do with Darren Waller.
That's the crazy part to me is I'm in a few leagues with it, and then I've talked to a couple of my buddies and stuff where like people are dropping like even a tenth of their FAAB money. It's like I wouldn't do that.
I mean, in that guy that called earlier is like, do I drop Rashard Smith for Darren Waller?
Yeah, so people are like all like confused about him. So like just take the pass.
I mean, don't drop a midseason monster like Rashard Smith come on. Hell no. There's no reason to pick up Darren Waller.
In terms of FAAB money, you make a good point too, because like a lot of people might say, if there's $100, well, what's $10? Well, it's 10% of what you have for the whole year, and right there, you're now behind the 8 ball for the whole year on any one of those full load drop guys.
Yeah, I dropped 100 out of 500 on Thornton Jr. in the league that we're in, and I was the only bidder because I knew I was talking him up so much, and I've told you guys I will not hold back on my predictions. just to get a waiver wire pickup or like delay something. My show is more important than my leagues. You guys are more important. So I was like, I know the waivers are coming up in that league. That league is the last thing on my mind when I'm talking about this. So I'm talking up Thornton like crazy, and I'm like, I know I'm going to get sniped on him. And I was tempted to go higher, and I'm like, I'm just going to drop 100 out of the 500. I dropped it and not one other bid. So I just wasted $100 because I could have bid 0. But now I don't have the ability to do a full load drop. But Thornton, to me, could be one of the full load drop guys. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I need it. I want it. I'm going to grab him. But
that's a tough call because, like you said, you've been talking them up on the show. Normally, those guys, especially in leagues like that, where it's all a bunch of us listeners, those guys are gone. Like either drafted or picked up right away.
Dropping loads in outer
I take
space.
blame for that too. I had no idea he was out there, and like that's on me. I didn't go and check.
Space Moon
I just assumed someone would already grab him.
Yeah, he's on the Moon Man list if anybody doesn't know. So is Smith, Rashard Smith. But Thornton Jr., monster in the making. All right, I'm going to jump off here really soon. Travis, I'll be back. You going to be around tonight?
Yeah, I'll be around if you're on tonight.
Okay, we'll go live later tonight. Appreciate all my super chatters, man. We got a couple hundos. John Coble, thank you for the 20. BBQ, Himothy, BBQ, Johnny, BBQ, Tyler. You guys are all monsters. We had who was it that dropped the 10 gifted memberships at the beginning? That was gifted. Who dropped that? It was the Patrick. The Patrick is back.
Yep.
We haven't seen him in forever. We're gonna July. I always tell people the content when people rush back in and we see a lot of old faces. There's redraft people and there's year-round people. It's just the way it is. It's always right after July 4th. I don't know what it is about the 4th of July. There's nothing really specific football-wise. It's just I think when people get through the 4th of July, for whatever reason, it's just a trigger point, like a springboard into, okay, time to get ready for fantasy.
Yeah,
I mean, there are
halfway
some
through the summer.
Yeah, there are some, I guess, NFL landmarks for it, but yeah, I just 4th of July, it's like a switch gets flipped. So get ready. It's all gonna fly in and get crazy up in here. And I've got my running back ranking video dropping tomorrow morning, probably around 7 a.m. Eastern in the morning. So get ready for that. And I give myself a lap. I take a lap. I make myself take a lap, not physically, but because of my holding back a little on Bucky, and I decided to come in and correct the record, and then you'll see it on the show. Anything else, Travis?
I was going to say. No, I don't think so. The Patrick has 25 months. That's pretty good.
25 what? What?
No, 25 month membership. You probably saw it.
Yeah. No, I gotta start pulling those up too. Patrick, 25-month membership. He says, Smitty, I'm back in the country, and I need to get caught up. Starting my prep late. I'm in the 111 and the 22. What am I doing? I mean, it just depends on. There's so many variables, Patrick. There's no way to really for sure give you a really good answer on that, like just without knowing details. But I mean, Genty and BT or London, and we've even talked about the H-Hand Bucky combo there. I mean, it's tempting now. Depends on the wide receivers you could get. If you could still get Garrett Wilson and MHJ or something, or Garrett Wilson and Debo later, I mean, that's something to look at. But I think balance is always the key if you can get away with that. Genty and a London, Genty and a St. Brown, Genty and a Nico. I mean, those are all pretty good. So, and you could also go, if Neighbors were to fall for some crazy reason, Neighbors and Bucky would be, that'd be unbelievable.
That's an awesome combo to get.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's pretty available at those spots more often than people realize.
Yeah. And BBQ wants to know what the over-under for the number of running backs drafted in the first 3 rounds this year. Average last season was 11 to 14. Oh, man, I had someone on hold. Matthew, call back, bro. I forgot you were there, bro. I'm sorry. Matthew, call back real quickly, and I'll help you. Just curious, what is everyone's over-under? I would probably say such a variety based on the format. Like my buddy league that I have that I've had for 20-plus years, it's always running back heavy. So there's no way to really answer this question. In an underdog, it's wide receiver heavy, and I don't think there's a really good answer. But I guess I would say the better question would be, what's the average person doing with their build? Is everybody going balance, or are more people wanting wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver? But I don't think there's a really good answer for this question. Bucky at 2.1 discussed and ranked wide receivers for 1.10 in redraft. Tyler, I don't really know if this is a question. Bucky at 2.1 discuss and rank wide receivers for 1.10. If I take Bucky at 2.1, if that's what you mean, I want Neighbors, Lamb, those guys obviously aren't going to fall, but if Neighbors somehow did, I think BT is very, very safe. St. Brown's very good there. I would probably say BT. BT or St. Brown, probably who I'm taking to go with Bucky. But the question we asked earlier, is it better to go Achane and Bucky and get Garrett Wilson later? Maybe. I mean, running back is starting to become a little more attractive to me if I think I can get Garrett Wilson in round 3. But will you get him that late in round 3? What about MHJ? You got a late third round pick, right? So if you could get a good wide receiver like JSN, or I would consider that. It's a good question. Matthew, you're live. What can I do for you, pal? Sorry about the wait.
No, it's all good, Smitty. I just want to. I know you're closing out the show. I don't even have a trade question. I got nothing. You're just getting me so hyped about Bucky. I drafted him a couple months ago when you were talking about him. I watched him explode last year. For listeners, for you, everyone, go look up Bucky photos on Google Images. Look at this guy with the shiesty on. Does Bucky look like he's playing around?
He's not.
He's got the shiesty on. He looks like he's ready to run through 1,000 men. Does he look like he's playing around? Draft him. I'll send it in the Patreon, the photo. But this kid just, how do you not draft Bucky in the second at the 2-1?
I mean, I think the only people that are down on Bucky are people that can't draft him for some reason. That's the only thing. It's the only thing you can, he's too small.
Or people who missed out
last
year.
Yeah.
And were too hesitant or didn't believe,
Bitter.
Like I'm the first one to admit I was a little late to the Bucky party, but I'm not going to miss that trade now.
To be fair, everyone was late to the Bucky party because he didn't get drafted high enough or have good positioning to even really be considered a top 5 potential running back while he was being drafted into a crowded running back room. So people need to let go of the fact that no one's on this Bucky's a top 5 train. There was no train yet really walking into the season. It was a quick realization of what he could become. And sometimes that happens, the getting on the train, the conducting of a train, all that stuff is not something that has to be done from pre-week 1. Sometimes it happens late. Kyren, Achane, these are all kind of week 1 explosions, and you either get on or you say this is a fake train. It's a Fugazi. And the people that say it's a Fugazi, they start getting bitter. And they're like, Bucky, this isn't real. Keeps doing it. Okay, it's really not real. And then he keeps doing it, and then it's just, now you're a double down Donnie. All right, I got to roll the phone line off because I got to run. I'm on a hard stop here. Matthew, appreciate you. We'll see you later, pal. See you on the Patreon. Rock out real quick, 10 seconds, because I'm on the way out the door.
Yeah, I know you like Pat Bryant, but what's your thoughts on Sutton?
I like Sutton. I always say I'm too low on Sutton. I should be a lot higher on Sutton. I don't know what my problem is.
Yeah.
But I do like Pat Bryant dynasty value a lot. Sutton kind of depends on his contract. Do they extend him? Do they give him a really fluffy deal that they can get out of really quickly? Or do they, what's going to go on with Sutton? I don't know. I think Sutton for 9-10 touchdowns feels like a pretty good lock. I think Sutton's really, really solid. I think, a lot of times we forget about Sutton. We're like, oh, Pat Bryant's there. And Sutton, I keep ignoring him. I don't know why. That's on me. Yeah. Sutton's easily 1,000-yard, 8-touchdown wide receiver. I mean, that's a damn good wide receiver. I don't know what about Sutton is so easy to overlook. I don't know.
I think because he can never be a top 5 guy.
Maybe.
He's there.
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe at least a top 15.
He could be.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure. You know,
really
Judy too.
Top 15, top 12.
I think Judy disappointing for so long, even though he hasn't been in the league as long as it feels like he's been in the league. But it's hard to like grab a hold of that and be like, yes, I totally believe. You're just kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, good call bringing those guys up. Judy and Sutton are both undervalued, so I like the Sutton pick. All right, rock out. Call tonight. See you, bro.
All right, cool.
Travis, I'll see you tonight. Later.
Yeah, everyone hit that like button.
Yeah,
thanks,
hit
Smitty.
the like. Thanks. All right. Then we got these two super chats here. BBQ says, "Is FAAB for waiver more common? What are your thoughts on it? Kind of new to fantasy football. I love it, but not all leagues do it. I personally like when you have a FAAB period where you have dollars to spend, and then the order of who is in last place and that rolling order is kind of more old school. But either way you go, they're both great. I like the dollar amount because then you could blow all 100 out of 100 or all 500 out of 500 on the player you want, and no one can stand in your way, especially if you can trade for FAAB. But the one thing I would say that I like more than anything that people should always incorporate in the leagues I play in, nobody does this, I hate it, is first come, first serve after the first run of FAAB goes. Or if someone gets cut, like let's say somebody cuts Aaron Rodgers right now. He goes on waivers, everybody's got a bid on him. If no one bids on him, then he's available for free. And on Tuesday morning when all the Monday games, the Monday game plays, Tuesday morning everybody puts their bid in, and then they process at midnight or whatever. And then once the bids process and everybody gets their players based on the dollar amount that they bid, then all the players are free agents for the rest of the week. I prefer that personally, because I hate that. Like I have one league where waivers process every Friday only. And it's like, how come I can't pick up a guy in the middle of the week? I'm way too busy to be playing in a league where I can only make one transaction session a week. So I hate that. But yeah, first come, first serve is really nice. But if not, I mean, it's okay. If everybody's on waivers every single night and there's no first come, first serve, that's fine too, as long as you can make a transaction every single day. It's just like they process and then you put in a bid and they process and just everybody stays on waivers. BBQ, just curious what everyone's over under numbers on. Oh, I just read that one. BBQ, thank you for the super chats. Thank you all. I'll see you on the Patreon. I'm going to go on the Patreon right now. Patreon is right here. Let me drop the link. I think I pinned it in the live chat. 24/7, 365 live chat group. And I'm going to type on the Patreon right now. What is up? What is up? Anyone have post 8 p.m. show topics? Boom. I'm on there looking to chat. Maddie just put a picture of Bucky on there with that mean look of aggression, and I'm coming for everybody this year, and I'm going to be the league's leading rusher or total yard getter. Bucky's a monster. Bucky's a monster.
Get buckied. Buckied.
I'm live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday. I'm additionally live whenever big news breaks. And I'm live midnight Eastern pretty much every night. See you all at midnight.